A year ago today, happy Valentine's Day, by the way, my boyfriend at the time told me that he was working when really he was hanging out with his other girlfriend who flew over from Florida to see him and stay with him for the week. Now, there were a million red flags about this guy, so many, and you know what? I ignored all of them because I wanted to be loved so bad. I fell in love with his potential, with the potential of who he could be for me, even though he was not doing any of the things to lead me to believe that he was actually going to become this person. I just wanted to believe it so badly myself. And over the past year, I have done so much work to undo whatever it was that was in my head that was making me think that I deserved to be treated like that. If you're with someone today on Valentine's Day who makes you feel like you are alone, that is worse than actually being alone. Because if you are alone and you are comfortable with yourself, it's not bad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can't want a boyfriend, or it's like wrong to want a boyfriend or a husband. I want a husband. I'm religious. But I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't want that, because I want that. Like, I'd be such a hypocrite. But there is something to be said with being truly comfortable in yourself. For me, I went to eating disorder therapy. I joined church. I quit my job and I started my own business. I started working out every single day. I do things every day that truly, truly fulfill me. And you can do the same. Honestly, you do not deserve to feel like you are alone on Valentine's Day, especially if you are actually not alone, if you are actually not in a couple. Fix it. Do something about it. You have control to let go and move on. I know it's not easy. I know it's hard. I've been there. Like, clearly I've been there. But girl, you deserve better.
In honor of Valentine's Day, I will offer you a story of my worst Valentine's Day. For context, Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday. I know that might be controversial, but like, everything's pink. There's candy, there's gifts. I don't care if I don't have a partner or anyone. You can do Valentine's Day with your friends, or you can just love. I love love. But this Valentine's Day in particular, Valentine's Day 2021, I think, was a nightmare. And it was a nightmare because my ex-boyfriend that I was with at the time had a big problem with holidays. So he ruined every holiday. And on this particular Valentine's Day, I had printed out a packet just of a ton of my favorite love poems, and we were going to read them together was my plan. So we are in the car in the Walmart parking lot, and I tell him, like, oh, when we get home, I'll give you your gift, which is the first thing I had mentioned of it to him. And he says, what is it? And I'm like, it's a surprise. And he becomes irate, sulking and angry. And he says, you can't do this. You know I hate surprises. I hate surprises. You can't do this to me. I hate it. Oh, they're the worst. And he is interrogating me on what the gift is. What's the gift? What is it? You gotta tell me. It can't be a surprise. And eventually, I'm sitting in the passenger seat, just silently crying. As always, I was always crying in the passenger seat very quietly. And he starts to call me selfish. Because if he doesn't like surprises, and I've gotten him a gift for him to enjoy, but it's a surprise which he doesn't enjoy, then I'm selfish because I'm giving him the gift for me. Because the surprise is for me, not him. So he's saying it's selfish, and I'm giving it just for me, for my fun, not even knowing what the gift was. And he's just talking and yelling and talking and so angry, and I'm crying. And finally, I gave up, and I just said, it's just a bunch of love poems. I thought that we could read them together. And I was so sad. I was so heartbroken to have to tell him what it was. And it wasn't like I was going to wait till the next day or something. It was just when we got home. 10 minutes, maybe. That is the story of how my favorite holiday was ruined by an abusive boy man, child.
Hey, Black Tea family, it's your girl Annie Agalatai, and today we're diving into something that's probably on a lot of your minds, especially with Valentine's Day, relationships, expectations, and how we, as Christians, should navigate it all.
Do you guys want to hear about my worst Valentine's Day ever? I'm going to tell you. So a couple years ago, 5 years ago, yikes, I was dating somebody, and we'd been dating for like 6 months, and I told him, hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. This is my first Valentine's Day with a man, and that's pretty special. I would like to do something special for Valentine's Day, even if it's just like going to dinner, whatever. He's like, yeah, I got you. By the end of January, he still hadn't said anything to me about Valentine's Day. So I asked my friends to go on a covert mission and ask him what he had planned, obviously. So when we were all out at the bar, I went to the bathroom and they asked him, like, what are the plans for you and Brie for Valentine's Day? And he's like, don't worry about it. I got it covered. I got a reservation. Like, you got nothing to worry about. So they report this information back to me and I'm like, beautiful. Love surprises. And it's hard to surprise me. So I was like, this is great. So I got a new outfit. I got him presents. I got him wine. I drew him a picture of us and I wrote him a handwritten letter. And when he came to pick me up, I was so excited. He did have flowers for me, which was the first time he'd ever got me flowers. So I was stoked. I was stoked on the flowers. And on the way there, he was like, where do you think we're going? I was like, I have no idea. I actually am gonna be so surprised. I'm never surprised. So you really got me this time. And we're like driving out towards the beach. And I'm like, what's near the beach that's like a nice restaurant? Spoiler alert, there's not one. He pulls off into a dirt parking lot. He's like, I bet you know where we're going now. It's one of your favorite places. I'm like, this has to be a joke, because he pulled into the parking lot of a dollar slice pizza place that we go to when we go to the beach all the time. Like literally like a shack. It's a pizza shack. It's like you sit down and you get your dollar slice pizza and your dollar beer and you go on your way. He took me there on Valentine's Day. I was like, this is really funny. This is a good prank. Now take me to the real restaurant, please. No, he was being serious. He was being so serious. So we went into this restaurant, me and my new outfit that I bought. He's like, I ordered you a Corona. I'm like, so romantic. That's what every girl wants to hear on Valentine's Day. So we eat in silence. He can tell that I'm pissed. Not even pissed. I just was genuinely just really sad. He pays the $6 tab and we leave. And I'm trying to like salvage the evening. I'm like, should we go out? Should we go to a cocktail bar? Should we go get dessert? Should we go like sit on the beach? Should we go drink that wine I got you? Like, should we do something like even slightly romantic at all? He's like, nah, I gotta be up early. Classic. So we went back to my place and he stayed over and we literally just went straight to sleep. And I was fully like laying on his chest, you know, crying. Couldn't help it. You know what I'm talking about when like you're just so sad and it just tears are just rolling off your face a little bit. So I'm crying onto his chest, his bare chest, so he can feel it. He can feel it like fully, like it's pooling up there, you know. Just doesn't say anything. He literally just pretended to not even notice that I was fully crying on him because I was so sad. Anyway, I did stay with him after that because I'm like, I'm not gonna break up with someone for a bad Valentine's dinner, although it was really sad. He never apologized. He never acknowledged it. He just took his gifts and left. That was a bummer. And I've since learned that is, men will they will show you exactly who they are by the way that they treat you. He clearly did not love me. He did not care about me that much, because that is not how you would treat somebody that you loved and cared about, especially when they explicitly say to you, this is important to me. So, but I did stay with him because I was 21. And then I found out a few months later that he was cheating on me, actually, the whole time. The whole relationship, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, random girls in bars, you name it. You name it. He was there. So, yeah, I probably should have seen that coming.
Now, I've been listening to some stories, and let me tell you, some of them are heart-wrenching. We've got women out here sharing their experiences of how their Valentine's days have been ruined. And what really stands out to me is how often the men in these stories seem to completely miss the mark, either intentionally or through sheer cluelessness. We need to talk about this. Let's start with the first story. A young woman who planned a sweet evening with love poems, only to be met with anger and accusations of selfishness when her partner didn't like the surprise gift. This just breaks my heart. It highlights a severe lack of understanding and, frankly, a lack of love. You see, as Christian men, we are called to cherish, to be understanding, to listen, and to love our partners as Christ loved the church. This is not about material things. This is about respect and being considerate of your partner's feelings. This man's reaction is a sign of immaturity. The fact that he called her selfish for planning a surprise, a gesture intended to celebrate their relationship, is just baffling. Where is the willingness to be flexible, to compromise, to show grace to her? In my opinion, this behavior is not of a man, but of a boy. It's a classic example of emotional manipulation designed to diminish her expectations and make her feel that she does not deserve love and consideration. Then we have the story of the woman who was taken to a dollar slice pizza place on Valentine's Day. This is just so dismissive. She shared her excitement about celebrating with him and made it clear that this was a special day for her. His response was to take her to a place they go to when they have a casual beach trip and order her a simple beer, showing a clear lack of care for her feelings. It is baffling why he thought that was an appropriate place for a date, especially since it was their first Valentine's Day together. It's one thing to be frugal, and there's nothing wrong with having a limited budget. But it's another thing entirely to completely disregard your partner's feelings on a day that is supposed to be about love and affection. It's like the bare minimum and a slap in the face of her expectations. The man's behavior after the date, where he ignored her crying on his chest, was cruel and insensitive. That is not how a man, especially a Christian man, should be. This was a clear sign of emotional neglect and indifference. Now, let's look at the story where the woman's boyfriend was with another girl and could not do anything with her. Valentine's Day. Can you imagine? This brother, who had another girlfriend, made her believe that they were in an exclusive relationship. He completely disregarded her feelings and disrespected her. The fact that he made up excuses not to spend. The day with her was a sign of deceit and a lack of integrity. What was supposed to be an expression of love and connection turned out to be an expression of deceit. These women deserve better. This is blatant dishonesty and disrespect. This type of behavior undermines the very foundation of a healthy relationship, which requires faithfulness and honesty. The fact that this man was also involved with another woman shows a lack of morals and commitment, which goes against the Christian principles of fidelity and integrity. Next up, we have the story of a woman who was in a long-term relationship, and every year her boyfriend would give her the same, "It's a made-up holiday" speech. I know we need to be careful not to get caught up in the hype of holidays, but the way this man was consistently dismissive of her feelings is concerning. The constant dismissal of her feelings year after year under the guise of it being a made-up holiday is a thinly veiled attempt to avoid responsibility and effort. This is not how you build up a partner. This is how you tear them down. A real man would understand that holidays are opportunities to show love in a way that is special to their partner. The consistent disregard for her feelings, her needs, is a very clear sign of emotional neglect. Let's not forget about the story of the woman whose man was more excited about Valentine's Day with his mom than with her. I understand that our parents are special and we are to honor them, but the way he was dismissive of the woman's feelings was just disrespectful. This man not only ignored her on the day, but he also accused her of starting drama when she brought it up. Then, he cancels their plans and leaves, and it feels like the gaslighting is next level. These kinds of actions destroy intimacy and trust.
Y'all have any crazy Valentine's Day stories? Well, here's mine. Men are so diabolical. So I was thinking that I haven't had a proper Valentine's Day ever. Like, I've never been talking or dating a guy and we went out on a date and he got me flowers and all the cute things. I've never had it. You want to know what I've had for the past 3 years for Valentine's Day? I can't believe I'm doing this. So in 2022, my boyfriend at the time, on Valentine's Day, we actually fought all day. It's very possible we probably just argued with each other all day. The next day, we went out on a date. We got dressed up. Does it really count if it's not on Valentine's Day, though? And then exactly 7 days later, February 22nd, we broke up. Now, moving on to February 2023, which was pretty calm. It was actually really, really nice. I went out with one of my really close friends. Very platonic, not romantic at all. It was really lovely. We hung out, we went to dinner. He dropped me home. That was it.
Nothing crazy at all. Love that guy. Now, last year is probably the craziest year, really looking back at it. The guy that I was talking to at the time had me fully convinced that we were in an exclusive relationship. We didn't do anything for Valentine's Day. He said that he was with his family, and then we were probably going to do something cute and fun and go on a date in the next coming days whenever he was free. Come to find out, he probably couldn't do anything with me on Valentine's Day because he had a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend the entire time that we were talking and dating each other, which also wasn't that long, but also without knowing any of that stuff, by the way, my best friend Neela, shout out to Neela, she really gives the men that I talk to a run for their money. She actually ended up buying me the flowers that I wanted, and we ended up going out. Please, before you ask me questions in the comments, I had no idea that this man had a girlfriend. When I tell you he fooled everybody, nobody saw that coming. That's a separate story for another day, and I probably won't tell any more of it. But I love love, so please keep posting your dates and all the cute things. I love seeing them. I'm living vicariously through you guys. I can't wait to see my group chat after I post this.
All right, I'm heading out. I'm gonna go help Joe with his boat. Oh, I thought we were going out to dinner tonight. Why did you think that? It's Valentine's Day. Remember we talked about this last week? We made plans. Did you forget? No, I didn't forget Valentine's Day. Anyways, it's just a made-up holiday that Hallmark makes up so they can make more money. But you know what? I'm going to come home and I'm going to show you I didn't forget Valentine's Day. But I'm going to show you my way, not Hallmark's way. And this will be a Valentine's Day that you won't forget. No, please don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll do something tomorrow. What? Now you're going to act like this? You're going to try to punish me because you think I forgot? You're always thinking the worst of me. I said I would do something, okay? Please, let's just not do this. Let's not do what? You're the one trying to control me. Oh, if I go help Joe with his boat, then I'm the worst person ever, right? Because it's your precious Valentine's Day. Please just go help Joe. Oh, you want me out now? Yeah, I'll go. I'll go help Joe. Have fun. I hope you're happy. Don't worry about it.
Babe, I wanted to talk about Valentine's.
Okay. Well, we did have this good discussion like earlier on in the year, didn't we? So we said we weren't gonna go overboard this year.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's like, you know, at Christmas I think it's good to kind of like have a budget of like how much you think you should spend on each other, just so it's not awkward. Like if I get you loads and you don't really like.
Well,
get
so
me
that's what we said, that we're not gonna get loads. So there isn't. So I don't think we supposedly need a budget, but we can just do something small together.
Yeah, but I mean, everywhere's really busy, isn't it? And I think it even falls on a weekday.
Okay.
So everywhere's really busy. So I was thinking, should we just like get each other nice things and like have a bit of a better budget for that?
But that's what I'm trying to say. But yes, but that what we're trying to save. Well, we've got a lot of us trying to save for a new car. We also want to get a house.
Yeah, but we can get the car on finance. Like, I think that's well, like, within our budget.
I don't need a day to do stuff for you or to get you stuff. Well, we just said we're not gonna spend that much on that day, babe.
Yeah, but then you don't really, it's like you say that, but then you're like, you don't just get things throughout the year. Like, you're saying, oh, I don't need a day. But when is the day then?
It could be any day. That's what I'm trying to say.
But it's not. So if Valentine's Day is an occasion, then why are you not like willing to spend money on it?
Babe, it's not to do with just the occasion. I'm saying because we have stuff to save for. So on this particular occasion, just this once, let's just try and just do it on a budget together.
Yeah, but then you didn't really get me that much for like our anniversary either, and so you can't always say like, oh, I'm saving.
Well, but I'm not saying I'm always saving, but what I'm saying is that regardless of the day, I still love you for you, so I don't need a day to get you nice things or do nice things for you.
No, but I'm saying to you, I don't want to just save. I want to be able to have some nice things as well, because it's a bit embarrassing.
What can you expect from the narcissist on Valentine's Day? Well, you can expect that they are going to ruin that day. Narcissists hate holidays because they hate that the attention is not on them, and they hate having to do nice things for other people. So they go out of their way to cause drama and chaos the most during these special times. Something they may do is try and cause a huge argument right before Valentine's Day, so that way they feel justified not buying you anything. It doesn't even matter what the argument was about. They will still use that argument as an excuse to not buy you something, even though they know that you're still gonna gift them something. They want to cause you pain because they love seeing us hurting, especially on days like Valentine's Day. Now, on the actual day, you can expect one of three things to happen. One, they're either not going to buy you anything at all, not even acknowledge the holiday. They might say, oh, I completely forgot. Although, like, how do you forget? There's things everywhere. You can't walk into a store right now without seeing Valentine's Day stuff everywhere. Two, they're going to do the bare minimum, a card and some candy. Or three, they will actually get you a nice gift and some flowers and even plan a nice romantic dinner, only to find some way to still ruin it. Their number one goal is to make sure that you do not experience any happiness and do not feel loved on Valentine's Day.
Do you wish you had a date for Valentine's Day? No, you don't. Okay, so last Valentine's Day, my friend Crystal, she was so excited because her boyfriend of like 9 months booked them this romantic ski trip to Vail, and she's not a skier, but she was just so excited to go. Okay, so they're on their way there, and she started getting a little annoyed because he was like always on his phone. He was just texting like in the Uber. Like once they landed, headed to the hotel, and she was like, what the heck is going on? Like this is supposed to be a romantic couples trip, but she didn't want to be like that annoying girlfriend, being like, what are you doing? So she didn't say anything. So they get to the hotel, she walks in the room, and she's like, oh my gosh, they had this like beautiful itinerary printed out for her on her bed with a bunch of rose petals. And he was like, yeah, surprise, I planned like a whole itinerary for you. It had like a massage on there, ski lesson, dinner reservation. She was like so excited. But then immediately he was like, need to go to the spa, like your massage is about to start. And she was like, literally, I just got off a plane, like this is kind of a lot. And he started getting pushy about it. Like, no, like your appointment is about to start. You need to go. So she's like, whatever. So she goes for her massage. But when she's done, she's trying to call him and find out like where he is. She goes to the room. He's not there. And she's like, what the heck? Would not answer his phone. So then like since the hotel had printed out.
Are you having a bad Valentine's Day? You are not alone. Narcissists absolutely love to ruin holidays. They love it. The first year with my narcissist was the only year that we ever celebrated Valentine's Day, that he ever got me a card or got me anything. We were together 6 years. Never, ever did anything for me ever again on Valentine's Day. And every year I would wonder why, and it was always the same tired excuse of it's a bullshit made up holiday, just trying to get people to buy things. And I would say, then why don't you just like make me something? I'm not going to recognize a bullshit made up holiday. They ruin holidays for a couple different reasons. Number one, they know that it's important to you and they want to ruin anything that's important to you because that's how they get supply. The second reason is that they want the attention all on themselves. And so this is especially true if you guys are going somewhere for the holiday, where you're going to be around like other family members or where your narcissist might see you having fun. It's really hard for them to see other people socializing and having fun and laughing and feeling sincere joy. It's really hard for them to watch that. And so they might create some kind of scene to make the day all about them, or maybe on the car ride to the event, they will start a fight with you so that the entire night you are in disarray. Or like my narcissist, he would often flake an hour before and all of a sudden he could no longer come. So whatever the case might be, if you're going through that today, please know you're not alone. This is a very common tactic by narcissists, and guess what? You're in the single person Valentine's Club, and I'm just gonna call it Palentine's Day because we're just all pals around here, okay?
A lot of the shit I make videos about are based on actual experiences. Like, I used to date this guy, and anytime a holiday would come up, Valentine's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, my birthday, like, oh good, that man will find a reason to leave me. That man will find a reason to argue with me. Like, damn. And then anytime we would get into it, the bitch would be like, well, I just feel like you don't deserve nothing for your birthday. I just feel like you don't deserve nothing for Valentine's Day. I just feel like you don't deserve nothing for Christmas. It's like, oh god, like, if y'all broke, just say that. If y'all cheap, just say that. Like, you don't have to break up with a bitch and hurt a bitch feelings, make me feel like I'm the problem. Motherfuckers just be doing shit just to be doing shit just to hurt you. Like, damn, if you wanted to leave, you could have just left. You didn't have to leave around my birthday. Or if you didn't want to just give me shit, you could have said you didn't want to give me shit. You didn't have to hurt a bitch feelings. Like, motherfuckers really be evil for real. Like, that's why I just be like, if a man is arguing with you close around the time it's a holiday, he not really with you for real. He just trying to hurt you, bitch. The fuck you thought this was?
Tell me about
about your worst Valentine's Day. I'll go first. So years ago, I was dating this guy, and it was our very first Valentine's Day together, and I was so excited. He invited me to all expense paid company trip to Mexico, and I was like, wow, this is about to be a romantic getaway. It happened to fall in line with Valentine's Day. The day of Valentine's Day, we were flying back home from Mexico to Florida. In my head, I figured that this would mean that, okay, we're in this romantic place. He's gonna have something set up. Everything's gonna be great. The morning of Valentine's Day, I wake up and I'm expecting the world in our hotel room. Not a single peep from him. He doesn't even say Happy Valentine's Day. And we see all of the couples with Valentine's Day balloons and chocolates and selling roses and flowers. I am at my breaking point. Up until that point, I was so patient with this man. Like, he's got to have something up his sleeve. I know it. I'm going to trust it. I know he has something planned. But walking through the lobby was my breaking point. I looked him dead in the face and was like, look, do you have anything planned or not? What are we doing? He looks me dead in the eyes and goes, was this trip not enough for you? We're talking about the same trip the company funded for us to go on, all expense paid. You haven't spent a cent on this trip. Talking about the same trip. This man didn't even do the bare minimum of wishing me a happy Valentine's Day. He didn't even write a card. He didn't even get me a rose in the lobby. He couldn't even pick up a chocolate from the gift store. Not a single thing. I held it together because we were in a company thing. And on the flight back home, I was crying into his chest, wondering what I did to deserve this bare minimum treatment. The big lesson here is that if your man isn't doing anything to make you happy on the days that are meant to make you feel special, like holidays, birthdays, etc., Valentine's Day, he's showing you exactly how he feels about you. And it is up to you to listen. Sure, maybe it's not a big deal to him, but it's not about him. It's about making you feel special and making you feel wanted. And if you're watching this and you're single and you feel bad for being single, just know that it is so much better to be single and in your peace than with someone who doesn't give a fuck about you.
Hey baby, happy Valentine's Day. I love you so much. What? Oh yeah, thank you. I made you this collage of all our firsts together. What? Oh yeah, that's cool. Are we still gonna go out together tonight? I don't really know, but hold on a second, I have to make a phone call. Okay, no problem. Hey mama, I just wanted to call and wish you a happy Valentine's Day. You are the best mom in the world. I love you so much. I sent you 700 roses. I just wanted to make sure they got there. They did? Okay, I just wanted to call and just let you know how much I love you. Today is such a special day. Why are you looking at me like that? I just think it's a little bit weird that you made such a big deal out of Valentine's Day with your mom, but you didn't even tell me Happy Valentine's Day, and you said you don't know if you want to go out anymore. No, what's weird is that you're jealous of my mom. Who does that? And why the fuck do you have to make a big deal out of Valentine's Day anyway? I'm not trying to make it a big deal, but you just made it a big deal with her, and now you're acting like it's not a big deal with me. You always want to just start drama, don't you? You can't just have a good day. You know what? I did have magical plans for us tonight that I spent weeks planning, but fuck it. Now I don't even want to go anymore. I'm not trying to start drama. It's too late now. You fucked up the whole day. I'm leaving and don't call me.
Valentine's Day is near, and I want to tell this story about how my narcissistic ex ruined my first Valentine's Day as an adult. So this story takes place in February of some year previously to 2025. And I'm in my first big girl relationship. Like, this is my first real relationship as an adult. And Valentine's Day is near, and basically this guy, we're gonna call him K. He was the type of man that I dreamed about. He was the type of man that I prayed about. Like, he was perfect in every way at first. And me being young and naive, I didn't fall for the love bombing. Like, I really thought that this was my person. So, the month of February comes and we're talking about what we're going to do for Valentine's Day. So we finally say that we want to go on a cabin trip, and we plan for that. Now, before we actually meet up for this cabin trip, he's basically talking about this gift that he got me for Valentine's Day. He's like, oh my God, babe, I got your gift ready. Like, it's going to be crazy. I went to the store and they was hyped about it. So I'm like, oh shoot, my man got me a gift. I'm so excited for it. So the weekend of the cabin trip comes. And basically, I go to his house. He lives about an hour and a half away from me. I drive to his house. I got his gift ready. Now, there was no comparison on like our salaries. He made like triple the amount of money that I made. But he was also older than me, like a lot older than me. So what do you expect? I'm like in my little 20s. But anyways, I put a lot of thought into this gift. I listened to what he was telling me. I got things that he said he needed. I got his favorite snacks. I got him some clothes. I got him some cologne. Like, it was a great gift. So I pull up to his house or whatever, and I'm like, bae, I got your gift. He's like, hold off, bae, hold off on the gift. I'm going to pick yours up in the morning, so I want us to exchange it together. So I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. So the next morning comes, which is Saturday morning, the day that we're supposed to leave for the cabin trip, and he leaves the house like, bae, I'm about to go get your gift. So he leaves the house or whatever and comes back with a little tiny, like, envelope. So we exchange gifts, and basically he opens up his gift. He loves it. He's thrilled about it. And I open up my gifts. Tell me why it's a card with a bunch of 20s that fall out the card. So I count, and it's about $300 worth of 20s. And the card literally has his signature on it. Not a happy Valentine's Day, nothing sentimental, just his signature. So I'm clearly underwhelmed, because anybody who knows anything about me knows that I am a stickler for a thoughtful gift. Like, you could get me a candle, but if you know I like candles, I will be happy for that gift. Like, I like somebody who observes me and puts thoughts into my gift. He gave me like a bunch of money, like I was a stripper. So I'm underwhelmed about the gift. He's, he could tell that I didn't like it, but I didn't want to ruin the mood. So I was like, oh, thanks, babe. I should have spoke up. But anyways, he's like, yeah, I didn't really know what to get you because you like a lot of things, but I know you like your little makeup and clothes. So that's why I did that. So anyways, you think it's bad. Now it gets worse. Fast forward to us leaving for the cabin trip. Now, I'm the type of person, I am a stickler about time. And when it comes to traveling, I like to push out early. So before we even met up, I said, babe, can we leave by 12 so that we can get there, by 3 so we can settle in and still turn up? Because we were going to the mountains, and it was about 2.5 hours away from us. So he's like, yeah, babe, we could push out early. So we exchanged gifts. This was about 10 o'clock. We eat, take a shower, and basically pack up so that we can go to the mountains. Tell me why it's 11:30. Keep in mind, I wanted to leave by 12 because I knew that we were going to pass through Atlanta, and that traffic is lethal. So 11:30 comes. He's like, babe, before we leave, can we go to Barnes and Nobles? Now, I'm kind of irritated, but like I said, I want to keep the peace. So I'm like, yeah, babe, we can go to Barnes and Nobles, whatever. So we go to Barnes and Nobles. I think that we are going to be there for 15 minutes. We were in Barnes and Nobles for an hour, 16 minutes. And the Barnes and Nobles was about 20 minutes from his house. So we in Barnes and Nobles BSing around. I'm like, babe, we have to go. He's like, no, I got you. Like, I really want this book. And then as soon as we get back to the crib, we gonna push out for the mountains. So I feel like he's testing me. But, I'm non-confrontational at this time. I'm a timid little 20-something. And I'm like, okay. So we get back to his house around 1 o'clock. And I'm thinking that we're going to leave. He's like, oh, I DoorDash some groceries for us, for the road or whatever. And for when we get to the cabin. I'm thinking he already ordered it. When we got back at 1, he just ordered those groceries. So now the groceries come at about 2 o'clock. We finally push out. And then he needed to stop and get gas. So, like, by the time we actually got on the road, it was close to 3 o'clock. We're passing through Atlanta. Atlanta traffic is horrible, which I told him. So instead of our drive being 2 hours and 30 minutes, it became 4 hours real quick. We're driving, right? And I noticed that he got a rental car because, both of our cars, we didn't want to put that strain driving up the mountains. So he got an all-wheel drive vehicle so that we can go there. He rented one. Tell me why this man refused to connect his Bluetooth to the rental car. And I peeped that. I'm like, why are we listening to the radio? Every time we pass through another city, it goes blank and you got to keep changing the radio. So I called him out. I said, hey, babe, can you connect your phone to the Bluetooth so that we can listen to some music? He snaps at me and says, I'm charging my phone. Can you stop telling me what to do? If you want to listen to music, you can connect your phone. So I'm like, no, you can connect your phone to the Bluetooth because you're the one that rented this vehicle. And I don't see why it's such a big issue for you to connect your Bluetooth to the car. Are you hiding something? So he's like, man, I ain't got time for you. You're not about to ruin my drive. So I'm pissed, but I'm working on myself so I don't crash out. I take a nap because I'm like, let me sleep on it and see if I feel the same way when I wake up, because I am livid. I am ready to crash out on the road. Take my nap or whatever, and I wake up. He's still shuffling through the radio. He refuses to basically connect his phone to the car's Bluetooth. So I wake up and I'm like, babe, I just think it's really weird how you acting with your phone right now. Like, why can't you just connect your phone to the Bluetooth so that we can listen to music? He's like, I feel like you're asking me to connect my phone to the Bluetooth, as a test, and I don't like being tested. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just want to listen to music. You listening to the radio, and we going on commercials every 5 seconds. Like, what is going on? What are you hiding? So at this point, he still refuses to connect his phone to the Bluetooth. I'm pissed. And he randomly looks at me and says, you know what? If you're going to keep accusing me of cheating, I'm going to do it for real. So I'm like, excuse me, what did you just say? He says, if you keep accusing me of cheating, I'm going to do it for real, because I'm not doing nothing. Now, keep in mind, I never accused him of cheating. I just asked him why he refused to connect his phone to the Bluetooth, and we're on a 4-hour road trip. That right there should have told me everything I needed to know. And my gut had a really, really bad feeling about this. But, I'm young, I'm naive, and I'm trying to keep the peace. I basically fall back asleep because, we in this car together. I want to snatch him up by his dreads so bad, but I'm also trying to be a bigger person. So I fall back asleep. Finally arrived to the mountains, and it's about 7 o'clock. It's dark at this point. We get to the cabin, and for some reason, this man forgot to request the code from the owner of the cabin. So we're sitting out there for like an hour. I'm running out of time, so like and comment for part 2.
While honoring one's parents is important, it should not come at the expense of disrespecting and disregarding one's partner. There has to be a balance. This was a clear sign of emotional manipulation and a blatant disregard for her feelings. And finally, the long and painful story of the woman whose first adult Valentine's Day was ruined by her narcissistic partner. The gift of cash instead of something sentimental, the refusal to connect to the car's Bluetooth, the fights, and the constant insults. This is a textbook case of emotional abuse. He constantly made her feel bad for his actions and lack of responsibility. It's a sad story of how a woman was mistreated and undermined in her first adult relationship. This man's actions are a clear sign of a narcissistic personality. The intentional lateness, the lack of planning, the refusal to connect to Bluetooth, and his gaslighting behavior are all signs of a controlling and manipulative person. He was more concerned with control and hiding something than with making her feel special on Valentine's Day. This is not how Christian men should act. This behavior is abhorrent and destructive. What all these stories have in common is a lack of love, respect, and consideration. As Christians, we are called to a higher standard. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." That's a pretty tall order, and it's not about grand gestures, but about daily acts of kindness, understanding, and putting your partner's needs above your own. Men, we need to do better. These women deserve to be cherished and loved, not dismissed or manipulated. Ladies, if you are in a relationship where you are constantly feeling neglected, abused, or disrespected, know that it is okay to leave. You deserve better. Valentine's Day shouldn't be the only time you show love, but it's a great opportunity to show your partner how much you appreciate them. If your man is not willing to put in the effort to make you feel special, perhaps that's a sign that it is time to reevaluate the relationship. We should always strive to have relationships that are grounded in faith, love, and respect. So, let's do some reflection. Let's pray for our relationships, for clarity, for wisdom, and that we may embody the love of Christ in everything we do. All right, family, that's all for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with your people. Until next time, keep the faith and live in love. Fuck.